Hello, hello. This is a video about tissue paper and acrylics and stencils and a way to substitute if you don't have napkins for decoupage. Thank you for joining me today, and just take a look. This is the plain old tissue paper that I'm going to use with some stencils. And we're going to make a page and some rub-on letters too. We're going to make a page, and I'll show you a couple other little projects that I have done with this great, fantastic paper and a little either PVA glue or Mod Podge and water. So stay with me while I show you what we've got. Now, this page is 10 by 12, and I'm going to make some lines in this with my micron pens, which will stand up to the PVA glue and water beautifully. I'm going to make this a little writing sheet because even though this paper will be transformed by the PVA glue and water, it will still accept writing. Now, I don't know if you can see, but let me open this. Let me see if I can show you. I'm going to have to cut this piece of, but if you can see, can you see? I have marked off where I want my stencils to go. So that's, I'm going to make the lines kind of around that. And we shall see what we shall see. And I will have to cut this, which I will probably do first. I will cut this area down. Oops, too big. Too big, even bigger. Okay. I'm going to cut this area. This is the area for the page. So I'm going to cut this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to stencil this now. I've decided to add a few flowers along with my frog, and I have to be really careful because the tissue paper is so fragile, so I can't overload the brush, and I have to just treat it delicately because I don't want to start all over again. I kind of tap it off on here a little bit and try not to move it, which I just did. Okay, let's see if we could get these other flowers in here without moving it again. And we'll pick it up. Let's see if we can get this little guy. Man, that's a mistake I don't make often. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Let me see if I can recapture this one and fill it in a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to recapture this little tiny one, but it will require a much smaller stencil brush. I don't use it. Well, usually I tape it down, and I'm afraid I didn't do that this time, and I am paying for it. Okay, so I've got this little bitty stencil brush. So let me see if I can cleanly recapture this tiny little flower without messing up the other flowers. Okay, all right. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see, do I want to put, let's see if I can put maybe one more in here. just kind of, I don't know, make it look a little richer. Now I need to go back to my larger brush. And I will probably, yeah, okay. I think I like that better. And maybe I can add a little stem to this. So that's a little clearer. Okay. All right. So those flowers look kind of nice. And maybe I will do the same thing. Okay, we've got our frogs and our flowers, and I'm gonna maybe, like I had said, I'm going to do a rub-on letter somewhere. Rub-on somewhere here. The one I was going to use, I'm not going to be able to use, so I'm going to find another one, and we'll apply that and maybe some lines for writing, and then we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've taken the pen and I'm going over the flowers just a little bit to give them a little more definition and make it a little more light and fun. And I'm going to do the same thing up in this corner if I can get the camera. I hope I'm not making everybody dizzy, which I probably am. Okay. All right, we'll hope it'll stay right there. Is that that's a, I guess that's the same pen. And the pens really don't like to write over this acrylic paint, so they don't last quite as long, but it just gives it such a nice, you know, it just get a nice light-hearted look to the project. Put a few eyes on my pink frogs and figure out a place to put my XOXO. Okay, I've got my lines in, and I'm just going to take a paintbrush and maybe fill in a little bit more flowers, some pink flowers this time, because yes, if you can stencil, you can also paint. So just kind of filling these in a little bit and just making this a fun little journal page, a little summer journal page. And just showing you all you can do with this neat little process. And you can also paint even after you've applied, after you've plasticized the page too. You can still paint and then just kind of go over it with your Mod Podge water and glue solution. So there's just a lot you can do. And so there's room for writing all over here. And these will be separate pages, but they will, you know, they'll be on either side of each other in the book. So let me get out my mix and we'll get back. That should be dried pretty quickly and we'll get ready to apply it. Okay, this is the area I'm going to coat with the mixture first before I put it on the picture. So I've got a nice soft brush, and I'm just going to coat this area. I put that tape there so I would know where to coat. It doesn't really take that much of this, but so I just mix a little at a time. Okay, that should do it. Now I'm going to carefully place our page. Whoops. I'm going to carefully place our page down. And I am not a big fan of the wrinkles, but in this process, you're just going to have some. So it is what it is. And I should have put it down a little more slowly. Yeah, there we go. And I have to be gentle with the brush so I don't tear the paper like I just did. Let me see if I can, if I can maybe get this up enough, because I just plopped it down, and that's, which is a classic example of what not to do. And okay, let's pull this down. Yes, now any other time when I do this, I do not have these problems. But when the camera is on, it seems that that's when everything chooses to go bonkers. Okay. All right, I think we've got it straightened out a bit. We'll have some wrinkles, but not a huge amount, I'm hoping. Come on, little froggy. And even if I do tear it, as I learned on treasure books, you can kind of push it back into shape a little bit. Okay. All right. Try to get a few bubbles out of it. And make sure we've got it all around our perimeter. Okay. And we did not want that tape there. All right, I think we've got you want to make sure you cover every bit of it. And then at the end, you want to kind of crimp it up a little bit so it'll be kind of easy to remove from your slick surface. Okay, and I'm going to kind of do that right here. And you see, yeah, okay, right over in the corner. Oops, I'm just kind of crimping it up a little bit so it'll be easy to pick up. Or let's say a little easier to pick up. Okay. Do the bottom. Now I did cut it just a little bit larger because I knew I would have to do this. So I don't know if you can see on this side. Let me see. Okay, just pushing it just a little bit so we get a little bit of crimp up there. Just a little bit of crimp up. And after this, just kind of let it dry. And what I have done is just hang it somewhere. I don't like that big old wrinkle, but it's there because I was in a hurry. And hurry and tissue paper do not go together well. All right, okay, we'll let it dry. We'll come back. We're ready to peel it off and see how our pages come out. All righty. Although it doesn't need to really set overnight, I let it set overnight. And now it's time to peel it off of this nice slippery sheet. And so I've started the edge, and I'm just going to let you see how easily it peels right off. Still being a little bit careful. Here we go. Okay. And we have a nice, clear rice paper page. And as you can see, we have our frogs, we have our lines, we still have our rub-on. For a minute there, I had let the paintbrush had dislodged a little bit, but after I repositioned it and it dried. And this is what we've got. Okay, the shoes are nice and dry. Now I'm going to put some flowers around the shoes. And this is the neat thing about stencils. You can just kind of guide them however I want the flowers to kind of maybe surround the bottom of the shoes. So let's put our stencil here. And I'm going to tape it lightly to the tissue paper so it doesn't rip it, because that would be kind of unfortunate. So I want the flowers to be kind of a light blue, and who knows, it might pick up some other colors too. We'll see. See what we like or what we don't like. Okay, maybe we would put the lighter blue flowers on the outside. And then we'll go back and put some of the darker flowers as we get closer to the shoe. Okie dokie. I don't know if I want to put a little purple in there. Just add a little red to it. We'll see as we go around. I don't want to get it too wet because then it'll seep through. And I don't want that. I guess I could have maybe placed the stencil in the more of the middle. But since I didn't, we'll just have to roll with what we've got. Okay. All right. Let me see if I want to purple things up a little bit. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it's nice to just experiment with stuff. See what color you get, color you don't get. That might be a nice little lavender looking color. Okay. Okay, make it a little lighter. A little lighter. Stenciling gives you just a lot of opportunity to calm things down or brighten them up. So let's see what we've got. Okay, we're going to keep this piece of tape here. Okay, that's kind of nice. Let me see, let's clean this up a little bit. Clean that up a little bit. Bring a little bit of light blue back into that. There we go. See how that goes. All right, let's lift this up again, see what we've got. I like that. That's pretty much what I was after. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry, and when we come back, we'll see what we can do with it. Okay, this is dry enough. I have a page out of an old atlas, and I'm going to apply this the way you would apply a napkin. And we'll let it dry, probably overnight, and we'll see how it comes out. I am not as fond of the wrinkles as some, but you're just going to get some wrinkles with this process. I have mixed, I actually use Mod Podge, and then I add water. And you can also use Elmer's glue, PVA glue. All right, let's dive in and see how this works. Very light with the brush because I don't want to tear it. I like this way of creating my own napkins, so to speak, with the stencils, because it's just, I don't know, it gives me a lot of freedom of color and design. So we'll see how it goes. So this would be a nice journal page or scrapbook page. And you have to be really gentle because you don't want to tear it. And it's really kind of soothing. I guess that's how I would describe it. Okay. Now you don't want to overdo it because you can get, you know, all excited and tear it, and that's not good. So anyway, we're going to let this dry and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so this is how our flip-flop page turned out. As you can see, it's clear. I've added a couple of embellishments, and all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. So we have this, and we have our frog page, both of which, you know, for both of these, we used our tissue paper and our stenciling. And I will probably review this little single signature summer journal after it's all done. But thank you for crafting with me today, and I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and please subscribe. Thank you.